Shalom. This is Sincere Milk, Lion's Den. My name is Yahweh Sap. I camp out with Lion's Den Yashawada in Jacksonville. And first I'd like to say a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the Archims, women and children. Kal, Harayam, La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Bahashim, Ha, Rodash, Kodash, Mak. All praise to Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and truth. Double honors to the elders of GMS, honor to my elder Al-Wam, salutations to the Archons who are on the four corners of the earth in sincerity and truth, to the women and children, Shalom. Okay, well, before I bring the lesson title, I always like to show this at this time as a reminder, right? A book called War to All Puerto Ricans, right? It happened in 1950, but before 1950, in 1889 or something there, how the military ships, right, went to the sea, pointing to the island of Puerto Rico and started bombing it, right? From what I gathered from what I read so far, they want to take over because they want to put their military base. Okay, so they weren't really asking. They're going to take it no matter what, you know. As for this incident, right, in 1950, police officers spraying with machine guns, people coming out of the churches, right? Of course, they were doing Palm Sunday, okay? Even innocent people who were not of the church or in the church also got, murdered. And how they try to cover it up, but it didn't work, It's terrible things that go on, right? And then this one, you should really do your best to get, right? Ebola virus, right, by Dr. Leng Hao, which private investigator, you got to realize that these things are being done with the intent to get us all sick, okay? It's with the intention that he doesn't look like this. He's older now, okay? And you want to realize that even though it's Yahweh and Yahweh Shai who is putting this wickedness for Edomites to do, right, to checkmate not only them, but you so-called Negros, Latino, Native Americans, and speckled birds, to show who you really are going to follow and obey, right? Who's going to take that jab. And if you don't get the book and understand how viruses and jabs work, right, the side effects and stuff like that, then hey, there won't be no excuse. The title of this lesson, Slakia, is called Justice for the Faithful. Okay? We're going to go to Luke 18, verse 1, all the way to 7. It will be in red letters, Yahushua speaking to us. Verse 1, Then he spoke a parable to them. The men always ought to pray and not lose heart, not lose mind, right? Not forget that we're in hell and that we are here to serve a purpose, right? And that purpose to remember who we are and to come back and do the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? Verse 2, saying, there was in a certain city a judge who did not fear Yahweh, nor regard man. Verse 3, now there was a widow in that city. She came to him saying, get justice for me from my adversary, right? From her, right? Attorneys that stole her money, screw her. I'm sure you know that, that goes on a lot. Verse 4, and he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, though I do not fear Yahweh, nor regard man. Verse 5, yet because yet because this widow troubles me, I will avenge her, lest by her continued coming she wearies me. Verse 6, then Yahweh said, hear what the unjust judge said. Verse 7, and shall Yahweh not avenge his own elect who cry out day and night to him, though he bears long with them? Yeah, that's what we do. You know, we hope we are the chosen elects, okay? From those are going to be 144,000. But day and night around the world, that's what we're doing, okay? Just like I see when the radio is on, they're coming out more and more about, we got these jabs now, they're getting better. We got so far 1,000, we want to get 1 billion, 1 trillion people, by a certain amount of months, And you got to ask yourself, how can you trust someone that rob, rape, and steal, right? Who has committed murder, treason, living on stolen land, going around the world plundering, and at the same time forcing their religion, right? Edomites, military on other people's country and land. That is like, it passes your head, As for this judge saying that he's going to go after the adversary, the attorney, well, in real life and today, they both, attorney and judge, are a member of the same club. Okay? It's very rare that that's going to happen. Very rare. Moving to Revelation 6:10. Yep. 6:10. Here we go. Verse 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth? Yeah. What do you think they do when they want to put that blood with nanochip? Because that nanochip and whatever else is in there, they're mixing it with blood. Right? And then putting chips. How many chips are in that tube that they're going to put in you? It's a good question, right? Revelation 3:7. Verse 7, in red letters, and to the angels of the church in Philadelphia writes, these things said he who is holy, he who is true, he who has the key of David, he who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. Yeah. In other words, when Yahweh gets here, that's it. Okay, if you think that he's going to just sit you down and say, listen, let me open up the book and these are all the wicked things that you did. No. When he gets here, it's already been a done deal. You've already been judged by your actions. Okay? Revelation 11:18. 11:18. Verse 18. The nations were angry, and your wrath has come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that you should reward your servants, the prophets, and the saints, and those who fear your name, small and great, and Such shall destroy, Salakia, those who destroy the earth. Who's been destroying the earth? The Edomites, right? I mean, they want to put nanochips now in the water. I mean, that's like I said yesterday in my lesson. It doesn't surprise me that they've been spraying it all this time. Okay? Because they believe that by using those nanochips, that when Yahweh and Yahushua comes back with the 144,000 chosen elect and the angels, right? That those nanochips, they can, destroy them. See how crazy it is? Right? But they want you to believe in their religion. They want you to trust them, right? When they still promoting pesticide, herbicide, fungicide, right? They're the ones that cause thousands of diseases upon nations, right? I mean, come on, let's be honest about this. They own the tobacco industry, right? They make billions or trillions of dollars around the world promoting cancer to all ages, right? Philip Morris, if you look it up, right? He was a chemist and a psychologist, right? Studied business. Putting chemicals in tobacco to make people sicker, quicker. Don't they do it with food? And now they want us, to trust them with a jab, right? Bad enough when you look into the jabs of the past that caused more damage than good. Moving to Daniel 7. Yep. Daniel 7. Daniel 7. Chapter 7, verse 10. Verse 10. A fury stream issued and came forth from before him. 1,000 thousands ministers to him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated and the books were open. That's it. In other words, he's making it clear. Listen on. He's saying to the whole world, everything is written down. He don't have to come to you in person, face to face, and say, listen, let's talk. I want you to explain to me why you did this. And he's going to hear your lip service? No. He already wrote everything down. He looks at the law and he goes, okay, this is what they got to get. This is the punishment. Now remember, the Israelites, right? We have a remedy, okay, of grace and forgiveness. But it doesn't mean that you can keep on just sinning and give him the finger, right? Or he will just let go of you so you can end up taking the jab and they get burned with fire. Where am I? Okay, got it. Moving to Revelation 20:12. 20:12. Verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before Yahweh, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged according to their works by the things which were written in the books. You see? I mean, I'm sure that he has his angels will get the information quick, right? In a blink of an eye. And boom, when he comes, he's just going to start, sending punishment to everyone. Moving to Revelation 3:5. 3:5. But you're not taking it seriously, Verse 5 in red letters. He who overcomes shall be clothed in white garments, and I will not blot out his name from the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. Yeah, when he turned those angels loose, man, they don't forget. Okay? They take the order and they come down, they do what they got to do. Moving to Revelation 19:5. 19:5, verse 5. Then a voice came from the throne, saying, Praise our Yahweh, all you, his servants and those who fear him, both small and great. Saying, when it says fear, it's not something you want to guess, or why should I fear? I mean, isn't he all love? When it says fear, it's for a good reason. Okay? Number one, we are not in a perfect body. It's a sinful body for our punishment. Right? And for us to learn what wickedness really is on top of that. Okay? So we don't know the punishment that we're going to get. But it's wise enough and humble enough, right, to do the will of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, go on the highways and byways as a living sacrifice, do the best you can with the lessons, and keep learning, so he will show mercy in the punishment that you're going to get, or that we're going to get. Salakia. On Psalm 69, let's see, 69:28. Verse 28, let them be blocked out of the book of the living, and not be written with the righteous. He's letting you know, man, if you're not going to be, humbling yourself and fear him, right? And put faith to work, come back. Get out of the 501c3 Incorporated Church. Stop practicing those paganism, which you can look it up in the internet or in books. Right? Santa Claus and those other holidays. Tells you in the books they're paganism. Right? Stop worshiping that Jesus, right? Blue hair, long hair, blonde hair. Right? Caesar Borgia, that's who he really is. All these things you can verify and look up. But you're not doing that. And you're not repenting. Luke 18:18. Slakia 18:8. Nope. You want to keep being defiant. Verse 8 in red letters to 13. I tell you that he who avenged them speedily, nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he really find faith on the earth? It's a good question, right? Faith with work, right? A lot of people say they have faith, but they don't put the work. And you can't separate them. It's impossible. But people say, yeah, I do it. I just believe. I don't have to do no work. Also, he spoke this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. 10. 2 men went up to the temple to pray. One a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. 11. The Pharisee stood and prayed, though with himself, Yahweh, I thank you that I am not like other men, extortioners, unjust, idolaters, and even as this tax collector. Yeah, tax collectors get a bad name, right? And for a good reason. 12. I fast twice a week. I give tithes, all that I possess. 13. And the tax collector, standing afar off, would not so much as raise his eyes to heaven, but beat his breast, saying, Yahweh, be merciful to me, a sinner. Being sincere, right? Humble himself, but you don't, You think that you got it all together now because you have you're making money, right? You have a house, you got a car, you're married, okay? You say, hey, I don't need nobody. I got my job, you know. I depend on me. Everything that I do is me, right? All right. Let's move then to Luke 18, 14, and 17. 14 to 17. Verse 14. I tell you this. Men went down to his house, justified rather than the other. For everyone who exhorts himself will be humble, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. 15. Then they also brought infants to him, that they might touch them. But when the disciples saw it, they rebuked them. 16. But Yahushua called them to him and said, let the little children come to me, and do not forbid them, for of such is the kingdom of Yahweh. 17. Surely I say to you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of Yahweh as a little child will by no means enter it. Boy, he is making it clear that you're going to keep going to the 501c3 incorporated churches. Keep practicing those paganism holidays. He's going to make it real hard. He says you won't enter the kingdom. Right? If you don't enter, that means he's going to put you to get burned. Right? Let's go to Mark 10:15. 10:15. Verse 15, in red letters. Surely I say to you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of Yahweh as a little child will by no means enter it. Second witness. We're going to move to Matthew 18, all the way from 3 to 5. That's the last one that I'm going to leave you with. 18, verse 3. Red letters. Surely I say to you, unless you are converted and become as little children, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. Verse 4, therefore whoever humbles himself as this little child is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Verse 5, here it goes. Whoever receives one little child like this, in my name, receives me. So when we come out in the highways and byways, right, calling you brothers and sisters, so-called Negros, Latino, Native Americans, and speckled birds, right? Come back. Hear who you are. Learn the scripture, right? You can go to YouTube for now until they, there's going to come a time when they shut it off. It's important because, the time is getting near. Okay? I hope it was edifying, and with that I'll say Shalom.